Mantras, the brainwashing we perform on ourselves. Now, a mantra is just a grouping of words that is going to be repeated over and over, either in the mind, written down, or said aloud. And essentially, all you're doing is reinforcing an idea to the point where you begin to believe it. One of the ways in which I did this as an example is the word bad would constantly repeat in my head. And I'm certain it's something I picked up in childhood, but it was omnipresent in my mind. It never stopped. Everything I did, there was this undertone where I felt that I was wrong. And I knew I had to change this. This could not go on. And I mean, this went well into my 30s before I realized it and changed it. And one of the other ones that was very tricky was whenever I felt something slightly wrong, in my mind, I would say, I feel sick or I am getting sick. Now, I wasn't, and I wouldn't think about it again usually, but just that being in my head would damage my mood. It made me feel worse. It made me constantly think I was sick because anytime I felt the slightest pain or discomfort in my mind, I would say, I'm sick. That was another one that I managed to change with mantras. Now, they obviously have their limitations. Like you can't change certain things. It has to be something that you're willing to believe. But like I said, all you're doing is reinforcing something over and over again to the point where you believe it. And some of the time with me, I mean, it took about 3 to 4 months to change. And then it started to become normalized. It started to become something I could accept. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I actually stopped doing them when I started focusing on trying to create videos. But now that I feel I can regularly create videos, I'm going to start with the mantra stuff too. And I have to learn how to have feelings, I suppose. Just just sounds strange just saying it, quite frankly. But I'm told I don't have feelings, so I have to, or I don't feel feelings. I don't understand it. It doesn't have any handles on it to me, but I have to learn how to do this. So, my first trick is mantras. I have had success with these in the past, and I'm going to see what happens with this. But with little things, I have seen surprising change. Things that had been with me my whole life, it got rid of. Now, it does, kind of suck having to wake up every day and spend 10 minutes writing the same groupings of words over and over again. But you want to do that, and you don't want to absently do it. You want to focus on it. The point in writing it down is making your brain deal with the words in a different way as opposed to just repeating them in your mind. Making your brain interact with things in different ways is effective sometimes. And I feel too weird saying things out loud. Like I don't know if I can do that. I'd feel too stupid. But writing them down and repeating it over and over in my mind, like whenever the idea, for instance, with bad would show up, whenever I would hear that in my mind, I would actively stop all other thoughts and be like, no, that's not true. The thing you are trying to change has to be pushed back against. You can't just let it go on. You have to actively stop yourself and be like, no, that's not true. So, mantras, in my eyes, are essentially brainwashing. And it's a type of brainwashing we do to ourselves. Now, you can obviously see if I think mantras are a form of brainwashing, commercials are also a form of brainwashing. They are. I mean, depending on how you want to define the word brainwashing, but uh, commercials are brainwashing. Did you ever notice that advertise and hypnotize have the same suffix? And I don't know what that means. I'm real into like root words. Like for instance, mantra is manas and tra. Manas meaning mind and tra meaning tool. It's Sanskrit. But a mantra is quite literally a mind tool. I thought that was kind of interesting because it comes from, Sanskrit, which I don't know. I associate it with old Hindi stuff, and I know a lot of their stuff, like the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita and stuff like that, had been in Sanskrit. Uh, but I don't know exactly. I mean, I know it's from that area of the world, but I don't know who started it. Um, However, the mind tool thing I thought was kind of cool because that is actually what I used it for as a mind tool. So, you know, if there's little things, little thought patterns you want to try and change or that are damaging you and, you would like to change, I had success doing it that way. And I'm going to do it with feelings. And, there will be occasional reports back as to how that goes. But I'll talk more on that later. Take it for what it's worth, I guess.